Good afternoon. Welcome back. If you're just joining us on the Polity, you've not missed too much. Now we've gotten to the part where we get to invite our guest analyst, of course, to analyze most of the stories and what is happening on the Polity over the week. With me today is Comrade Duke Alamboye. Welcome to the studio, Comrade.
Thank you very much.
It's good to see you once again.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
All right, now let's quickly get into it because we have limited time. I'd like to start with governors saying they are going to actually disburse cash out to poor households. Now, it's no longer to Nigerians. Now it's poor households. It's on one of the national dailies for this morning. What's your general overview about it? And given that the president has already said he was going to review the 8,000 naira that was supposed to go into palliatives during the week.
You see, at the time that we are facing lots of hardship in this country, it saddens my heart when some persons still at the level of governorship even sit down to say things that are not real. Okay, if they want to pay monies to people's account, in quotes, they poor. What is the statistics to ascertain who is poor? In Nigeria, everybody is poor.
Everybody's poor, yeah.
What statistics? What are the criteria they are going to put in place to say person A or person B is poor? Number two, do they really have data for poverty range? What are the range of poverty people living in a particular state? Do they have, or when those money comes into their coffers, is when they begin to get such statistics? It has not even been easy to get our dependency ratio and independency ratio in the country. Just to even separate that is difficult. To talk of a whole state will say they want to give monies to the needy or the poor, as they will call it. It's ridiculous. It saddens me when I watch them say all this kind of a thing, whereas they know that there are indices facing them, things that they can do very practically that can ameliorate this suffering of the people are facing today. It's simple. Some governors have kickstarted projects in their states to curb or to cushion this effect of all this, the outcome of the fuel subsidy removal. I have known from ab initio that when fuel subsidy is removed, people will sabotage it. People will work against it. People that benefit from those processes will work against it. And then, apart from those sabotages, naturally, there's natural just cause that will happen. What it means that there will be a force of demand and supply will play. There will be consumption ratio that will reduce. So if government are very deliberate, they should be able to know that all these indices put together, the masses will be at the suffering end of this. And it is best practice that they begin to come up with, like I said yesterday, mid and long-term solutions. You want to share fiscal money to people who trust the system. What is the criteria? Secondly, how are they going to disburse those monies? These needy poor people that do not even have bank accounts, how are they going to meet them? People like in the Niger Delta region, people live down the creek, people live very far from where you can anticipate. Little communities that are sited around the creeks and the ocean tips. So are they going to get to those people? These are people that are really feeling the effect of what is happening. Well, so is this another way of siphoning monies into their pockets?
Yes.
We shouldn't be talking about these things. Now the country is peaceful. Nobody is protesting. That they have all the time to sit down and articulate intervention processes. They are gambling on this thing. By the time youth begin to revolt, by the time it gets to where people begin to protest, they will say that youth are causing unrest in the country. So this is quite worrisome, seriously worrisome. That I listened to governors yesterday talking about transferring money. What they want to do is they want to own the system. Instead of federal government distributing the money themselves, as promised earlier on, they want to say transfer this money to them. They are closer to the people. They know what to do with the people. But I can also agree with that, but not to the extent that they'll say they want to pay money into the accounts or get rich to people that are poor.
Okay, now I like that angle you came from, because now we're going to speak about the poverty range in Nigeria.
Yes.
Speaking of the economy and what has been going on the polity right now,
yes.
Do you actually think, I mean, it's a question I've asked repeatedly, but do you actually think whatever goes up in Nigeria would actually come down, given that, of course, during this week, NNPCL has come out to say, oh, the prices are not fixed yet. There's probability that these prices would actually go down. But then, while looking at everything that is happening, it doesn't even look like these people will have our time, because given that there's a lot going on in the economy, there's a lot going on in the party itself. And for the people in the party, you said you cannot have, a house cannot stand against itself. The house is already divided. Now, how do you expect the president to, of course, focus on the economy and then still be battling with party issues? Do you actually think all of these
this is one issue I had when President Asuwaju during his campaign kept telling Nigerians that he has prepared for governance, and I laugh. I have once, before I became national secretary of my organization, an organization, I was very close to my successor, my predecessor, and I knew what he told me, the issues of the organization. So it's easier to say everything, but not easy to do the doings. That is what he's facing. If, as he sounded, he's very prepared, this is just a litmus test to his face. Remove fuel subsidy. Were they going to discuss or act on removing fuel subsidy without studying or getting prepared of these outcomes? The truth is that they didn't prepare. Else, what is happening won't be happening. NNPC today is having the overwhelmed decision to make. I can tell you that the president or the presidency hands will be tied. NNPC will tell you that this is what they buy, this is what is landing cost, this is what they can sell. Because the government didn't relegate relegates the system before doing this. Be part of it, be involved, ask questions, get documents of past meetings on this subsidy removal, get people to study it, give it time for it to happen. So I can agree that prices of fuel products might reduce, but again, like you rightly said, does anything go up in Nigeria and comes down? That's a $1 billion question. They will still ring around it to ensure that it remains at that cost, while they take the excesses into their private pockets. I pray that the interventions that they're coming up with will actually drag first the price down. But I think until there is serious and a competitive palliative to this movement, it will not drag the prices down, because it's not magic. They are going to lift, they are going to buy, they are going to put up their calculation and do their markup for profit. We've thrown it to the capitalists. We don't have any intervention now. We don't have, yes, it's just purely capitalist. So they want to maximize profit as much as they can. I can tell you that if they allow this to linger, we'll be seeing scarcity. We've not even started experiencing hoarding, where they will not sell. And then the scarcity will now result to high demand of the product, which will equally go into hike in price again. So they must have deliberate cause, they must have deliberate interventions to these issues, which unfortunately I'm not seeing.
Okay, now let's take a detour from that and go to one of our updates, where the National Vice Chairman for Northwest, Malam Saliu Lukman, has warned against replacing the House-led National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, with former Governor of Kano State, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, saying the action may upset the zoning arrangement of the party. And Lukman's warning is coming in the wake of speculation that President Bola Tinubu may have penciled the ex-governor as the next chairman of the ruling party following the exit of Adamu and the Eastwell National Secretary, Senator Yola Omisore. Now, continuing, Lukman urges the president to speak up to douse the tension and intervene on the time, with the ultimate aim of returning the APC to its founding vision of progressive politics. Now, speaking of progressive politics, do you actually think, apart from zoning right now, let's check the antecedents of the said former Governor Ganduje right now. Do you think he should actually be sitting on such vital seats as the chairmanship of the ruling All Progressives Congress right now?
Well, he's qualified. As a member of the party, he's qualified to sit there. But again, I hate when people tamper with proceedings. These proceedings are set by the pioneers and board of trustees of the party for even distribution of powers and coexistence, peaceful coexistence of members across board. So they have said these are the zoning formula.
Yeah.
So if at the time you came into power and you remove somebody that is fit, but from a particular zone, as you remove that person, for whatever reasons, legal reasons you want to do that, ensure that you also replace somebody from that zone so that it doesn't cause conflict. It's well, they've always get out of it in time past, but I don't like when the APC kept finding itself in tussles. Maybe because they're in power. That's why it is most required for them to be having these issues. Why not? They are stipulated activities in their constitution. These things are well known in their constitution that if powers leave the north from one point, it goes to the other point. From that point, it goes to that point. So at the time that the president, the chairman of the political APC is resigning and the secretary, they know what to do. The constitution is there to guide them on what to do. This is what I also talk about intervention. Anyhow Buhari is bad, I think he kept little space out of the party proceedings, and the party owned their processes. So in as much as you want to intervene to ensure that you have good collaboration while you govern, I think it shouldn't be biased. I'm not saying the president is biased, but they should look inwards and see how they can score out these issues. The president presently has a lot to do. We are looking at his deliveries. Today, I got on one of your platforms, a member, seriously getting aggrieved that almost all the appointments, about 28 appointments the president has made, are lopsided to Lagos. We're not even talking about the southwestern part of the country, but just to Lagos. So these are the issues that, if he is not careful, will begin to distract him. What I want to advise is that he should leave the party and its constitution to run itself, and fish out people that are responsible and capable to man the chairmanship, where it is zoned to, where everybody knows that after this man exits, it's supposed to go to this place. If it's supposed to be retained by the zone, let it be retained in that zone, so that we will not be having this back and forth. It's a huge distraction. He's faced, like you rightly said, he's faced with the economy at the moment where everybody is actually rally round supporting him. I know what they are moving forward. Yes. Now they have come with another removal of their party chairman. So you see, everybody will be distracted. The president will be having meetings instead of economic meetings. You will now also be having distractions from party members, who should be the next party chairman, and all sort of it. So the resolution is very clear. When he resigns, there's a zone that takes over in the interim. I think that it should be there until we settle the economy before they can come back to their party issues. The president is the president of the country. The country is lacking, is in a serious doom, where all his attention, full attention of both the party members, the party structures, everybody else should have been on deck to solving the issues at hand. The driver of an economy is transportation, and today we are having issues in that sector. Everybody else should be on deck. He is having about how many days? I think it's at the last for it to even ministerial list to even come out. That has not come out. This is another party issues again. I can tell you that these are litmus test cases. The president is going to show if really he was indeed ready to govern. The tribunal cases are there staring at him. Nigerians are expecting that this is the time he would have proved himself very strongly to solving issues that are coming up, not concentrating in party levels. It is stipulated in their constitution. When somebody resigns, there's a vice president, a vice whatever. It's stipulated. Somebody that takes over. But I think that's where they should. In still looking at their constitution, some persons, I mean, these people who are talking, these certain persons have been talking about zoning, and then there's still the other faction talking about religion, that you cannot have a Muslim all through the this thing, given that the president, vice president is a Muslim, and then I want to say this thing categorically. Okay. For the fact that Nigerians or this APC government is concerned that we have the vice president as a Muslim and the president, we will continue to admit and tolerate religion dominance in this government. Let me ask you, who do you blame when you give power, any appointment or any power or any position to the north? Who do you blame? Predominantly they are Muslims. You can't blame them. You can't because of this government. You say they should change their religion. It's not possible. Anything you throw to the north, predominantly the Muslims will pick it up, for appointment.
Okay, please quickly hold that thought. It's still on the APC. The Progressive Governors Forum have broken their silence on the exit of former National Chairman of All Progressives Congress, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, and National Secretary, Senator Iyoola Omisore, saying it was a voluntary action. Now, Chairman of the Forum and Governor Uzodinma of Imo State stated this while addressing newsmen at the end of their closed-door meeting in Abuja on Wednesday night. And this was even as the governors elected on the platform of APC apologized for the recent adjustment in the pump price of petrol from the previous 550, of course, to 617. Now, they promised that the current hardship occasioned by the skyrocketing cost of food, petroleum products, and cost of living will soon be addressed. Now, the meeting, which was held at the Imo State Governor's Lodge in Asokoro, started at about 9:45 p.m. and ended 11:12 p.m. Now, addressing journalists after the meeting, Uzodinma denied there was crisis in the party, saying the APC governors were in support of Adamu and Omisore's resignation. It still brings more question about what is actually happening in APC right now. I would have loved for our second guest to be here, of course, because it looks like he would have been an in-house person to shed more light on what is going on in APC. But I've watched a couple of interviews where, of course, you know, during the primaries, there are convention there were some persons that actually stated back then for him to have resigned, that was a honorable thing to have done, given the state of the zoning. Apart from zoning, religion, Nigeria is not just one religion country. But then look at all of this now. Do you actually think this is the way to actually move forward, given that now it's gone beyond the presidency, the governors are stepping in to come out and say, oh, nothing is going on? But then we all know that it's obvious. There is no smoke without fire.
Yes, it's quite obvious. And this is just is a victim of the process.
Okay.
Adamu is a victim of the process. Of course, it was obvious that he pitched it with the president in supporting the candidature of Lawal. And the likes of Asiwaju, they are very experienced politicians. That was, at the time, that wasn't an issue. Their concentration was to win elections. So they sailed through with him, even though they know that he was not fully part of the progressive for winning election, but they sailed through, and to God be the glory, they won. So this is just a victim of the system. He has to go. He is not in consonance with it. You can see, even the president ahead gave only 2 slots to the party, and that is because when it gets to the party, it is the chairman that will dictate who become minister in this administration. So they don't want much concentration on the party, except he steps aside. So these are the issues around it. The governors, again, in their own space, have also investigated that with this chairman they have, likely the number of ministerial appointments that will be given to the party will not even come to the governors forum. So these are the indices, these are the true nature of why he must go. Nobody is in consonance with him. Even the NEC members that are with him are also complaining of high-handedness. So if you look at it holistically, you will believe with me that there is issue. There's a tough internal issues that is warranting him is stepping aside. You could know that since after the elections they've not been able to hold a very effective meeting.
Even his words do not actually hold ground.
Yes, exactly. To forge on. So I think to him it's honorable that he has left the scene, but to the party, after he has gone, what happens? That is the million-dollar question. He has exited. Whether they want to say he exited voluntarily or not, the truth of the matter is that he has left for peace. So now what is next? What are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to also cause more distraction to the existing issues the country is already facing? We shouldn't be discussing about APC issue at the moment. We should be discussing about what is happening in the economy, the deliverables that they promised Nigerians. This is the way we should be talking about. Up to today, we've not even had the list of ministerial appointment, not even talk about screening them, making them up portfolios. So these are the issues, and I can tell you that the sabotage is getting high, and Nigerians are beginning to agitate. But Nigerians are very sensitive of what is happening, and they are beginning to laugh to say, oh, indeed, it wasn't ready to take power.
Yes. Given that you've said this now, something just shot in my head. Do you think we should actually do try and error with most of our president, or let's say presidential aspirants, when it comes to election period? Say, oh, we have maybe 18 political parties, and you just try and shortlist them to probably 5. And for those 5 parties, you give them 1 month each to rule Nigeria and see what comes out.
That is it still boils down to pretentious ruling.
But I mean, that 1 month, trust me.
It's like a man that wants to marry a girl and you understudy her for 1 month. You've not known anything. The country, we're not talking about the state. We're looking for someone that, I'm not faulting the president now. It's too early to fault him. He's just having an issue. But again, this is an issue that everybody ran away from. He are taking the bull by the horn. And the effect, how to solve the effect, is what everybody is rallying around. Not that he has done too badly. Again, the party internal issues is also obstructing his deliverables when it comes to ministerial appointment. That's one other issue is having. So these are all normal indices that will play. But I thought that the formidable force he came in with, he was well prepared to answer every question that is coming on his way, to show Nigerians that irrespective of age and whatever they have accused him, is balanced and is quite good to go. If this had lingered, the fuel subsidy removal had lingered since when he removed it to 60 to it's going to almost 100 days, it means that there's problem. It means that they have not really sat down to, while they were campaigning, they've not really sat down to say, we'll remove this and use this as a palliative, or set up this ball to roll, while, that would have come spontaneously. As to remove subsidy, we are bringing in short-term solutions, we are bringing in long-term, mid-term solutions, and long-term solutions. This would have just parallelly gone into the system together, so that people will not feel the impact. Today, what is happening is the private sector, or the operators, or the stakeholders in the oil and gas, mostly the distribution yes, are owning the price, and that is, you will not blame them, because they have to buy, they have to sell, they have to make profit. So you don't blame them. So at the moment, I think there's a lot to do. I think there's so much in his hands, not party distraction. In the party side, I think they're just only flaming up what is not supposed to flame up. And it looks like it's just power. If Adamu is fit to be the next chairman of the party, the constitution is there for them to know what to do, not to begin to escalate issues and then make it. In fact, people are angry to even know that it is part of news. What we want to hear is that they are providing solutions to lingering issues of the economy. Okay.
All right. I'll still like to ask more questions, especially from one of the dailies this morning. That's from Vanguard. They said Buhari's social register lacks credibility.
Fantastic.
You think about that coming from NEC, and they asked states to generate their own registers for cash transfer. So now it means basically the money that was disbursed out during the Buhari's administration, where did this money go to? I mean, there are lots of questions on the policy right now.
I want to agree with the NEC that yes, that registrar is totally we can't depend on that registrar, but it shouldn't end at declaring it. It should end at prosecution. People, these monies were paid to people. These registers were prepared by people. So we need explanation.
We need accountability.
We are tired. We need accountability. People must come and own up the system. It's not by saying that they pass vote of no confidence on that registrar, but are they saying it because they want to do theirs? Are they saying it because it's obsolete? They can't continue with it? If they are saying it for the purpose of sincerity and honesty, it then means those people should be brought to book. We must hold people accountable for it. That's all I want to hear. Yes, a fact that it is not good to reckon with. The next step is what? Who are the people responsible for it? They want to hear them talk about it. Or they should declare President Buhari, the past president, to come and explain what he did with all those.
I bet the president would say he didn't know what was going on then. But then, apart from that, we have people, persons holding these offices. Then why can't we actually hold them to be accountable?
The president will say that is not.
And that's the president. But of course, we had finance minister, budget, and all of these. We have people in charge of all of this. Why can't we call them and hold them accountable?
When you call him, he's going to produce those persons. If they don't want to go that route, of course, there are people that handle this process. They should call them for accountability. It's simple as that. But of course, for every regime, for every administration, you hold the head responsible. He would have done due diligence and thorough investigations on whoever is given appointment and who is scheduled to handle issues of this nature, to ensure that these things are done properly. Execution is key, and that's what is stopping the country. When it comes to areas of execution, you begin to see all forms of illegalities, and this is where our problem is. So therefore, it's not just only declaring that register null and void or whatever. But I think we need people to come and answer questions.
Speaking of,
we are talking about trillions that have gone through that process.
That's gone through that process.
Yes.
Now, speaking of this, now, is it safe to say, even if the president actually agrees or gives the go-ahead for this said palliative, that means wouldn't it take another said month, of course, to get the register properly done right now?
There is no need. There's no need. It's simple mathematics. The problem we are faced with, we just need an immediate solution. And even the infrastructure, the money they are sharing for infrastructure is for what? Why would they take all those monies and then provide vehicles in the country? I think it's very simple. But again, states wants to own in their own defense. States wants to own their issues. They know what is peculiar in their.
Speaking of state-owning issues, we know that the president has a lot on his plate, from court cases to economic issues to now party issues, and now even the said governors, most of them still have court cases. And I mean, your jurisdiction is a little bit smaller. How would you be able to handle
everybody's
economy
looking for money?
And
everybody is looking for money. Everybody is looking for money to solve one problem or the other. I want to also feel that, okay, the governors want, instead of allowing it to, we are a state nation. So the states, so the states should be able to control whatever palliative measures they want to adapt in their state. So therefore, their demand for owning those processes becomes valid. Okay. Again, when they own those money, what do they do with it? They are already having lots of allocations in their hands. Only few governors have come up to set up few things to cushion the effect in their states. So are they not having allocations? Are they not having monthly, quarterly revenues and all of that? So they want to also add this to it, and the federal government should divert this money into physical provision. They should buy vehicles, go into the business of what is happening within the NPC and other service providers, and see where they can come in and then diversify the economy in terms of consumption of fuel process. And these are the immediate solutions. They should engage economists. The matter has gone out of the hands of politicians. They should engage real economists that will give them the analysis on what to do at this moment.
But you know, the problem is not even engaging economists. Most of the problem we have in Nigeria is implementation, given that we have too many policies.
Presently now, even at the initial stage, there's an issue. They are ready to set aside money for palliative. The issue now again is that where are they going to channel it to? It's another issue that we are faced with now. So it's not even issue of execution now. It's even issue of directing the process properly before we even talk about execution. It's already failing that this money should go into the hands of government. This money should be sent to people as fiscal cash. It's already a failure.
But would you rather the money be sent to people as fiscal cash or something else be implemented?
Something else should be implemented. The problem we are having is hike in transportation. People are spending much to attend to their daily activities.
Also.
That is it. Transportation is key in the economy. I said it earlier on. It affects every strata. It's a ring road in the economy. So once it fails, food production reduces. Manpower reduces. Technical, everything reduces because it is a key. It's a key starter to an economy. The economy starts with transportation. Any form of transportation you want to talk about, the economy at the day breaks, it starts with transportation. All
right. Thank you very much, Comrade Alamboye. It's been an insightful one with you today on the program. We do hope to see you once again, and hopefully as of the time when the president releases his ministerial list, so that we can probably have a breakdown of what's going to happen, or basically not assume, but we'll talk about it. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
Our viewers at home, thank you for joining us today on the Polity. This is where we come to the end of the Polity. We would like to say thank you to our backstage guys, the MCR, and of course people that prompt and make sure this production is a success. I can see someone smiling at the back of the camera. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Polity. I remain Babajide. See you same time, same station next week. Bye.